A violation. A violation. Nothing from Samantha. I had no choice but to share it. I have a violation. Checking in from that format too. And Mandy. I have already heard some really things. That's the one. That's other than Aquellos que analizar el gris, no me recomendaron un lugar donde con la que está Merkel, a que está Merkel, tienen terapeutas, un psicólogo, tiene un psiquiatra, yo no creo que tengan.
Going a little bit warmer and warmer. Over that, we're all only getting paid $12 an hour. Can I get your student ID number whenever you're in? Thank you so much. And once you're all set, you can just all right. What are we working on today? You want to tell me a little bit about it?
It's a test, but the
Okay.
of the I chose the first grader.
Okay.
That is the testing of the grade.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then from the testing, I make activities for the kids.
Oh, okay. Cool. And what class is this for?
That's
Three. And then what's the discipline? What's ESET?
fairly.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. And so you guys are kind of for the assignment, you're supposed to create an activity.
No, for this one, it's just the kids.
Oh, okay.
And then also, it's part of it.
Okay. You can click the following, identify. Okay, so tell me about how far you've gotten so far, what you've done.
I really just only so far did the test day.
Okay.
I wrote some. I kind of did a reflection and a little bit of the intro,
Okay.
right?
Cool.
And and that is it.
Okay, cool.
The testing. The
And what can I help you with for this?
because so I think it was like because some of these
Mhm.
questions it seems like I already answered it
Okay,
already because it kind of this is the rubric for that paper.
gotcha. Okay. And yeah, so what are you like looking to accomplish here today?
I think maybe like kind of a more of an idea of what the rubric is kind of saying
Okay.
to better understand it to really finish typing the paper.
Gotcha. So you're more trying to figure out if you're meeting all the requirements
Yeah,
and that you understand the assignment fully.
Yeah, because I didn't really watch the video to really understand how to use the score, like find the final raw score because it's also part of paper here. Or
Gotcha.
this part, the fourth
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's take
part
some
of
time to read through it. Yeah. Would you mind going back to the assignment instruction?
it is.
Cool. So for this assignment, each student will conduct an informal assessment of child's literacy problem. Please note that the student must be in kindergarten grade 1. Identify child. You got that one done, right? Check.
Yeah, I got that first one.
Cool. Describe the child's engagement in literary activity at home, in the community, and at school. Have you done that one yet?
I still called answered it, but the second bullet point, it seems that I didn't answer it. So can you have a look? See if I answer it.
Yeah, for sure. So what I'm going to have you do then is we're going to read this through together and we're just going to read it out loud because it will also be like listening for if things just like make sense. Do you want to do it so either you could read a paragraph and then I could read a paragraph, or if you want to read the whole thing, you could do that too.
This is the only thing for that first part, and the other one's just a reflection.
Okay, cool. So how about read this first paragraph?
The child I have chosen for this literacy assessment is a first grader boy named Jackson, who recently turned 6 years old. Jackson is Asian and both of his parents work in a bakery. He lives in Chinatown and is the middle child with two brothers. Jackson has severe food allergies, which keep him from eating the same things as his family. He also likes to go to the book fair to buy picture books, but he doesn't read the books after he purchases them. He seems to really just enjoy buying the books. Jackson sometimes has problems with literacy and can get his numbers and letters backwards when reading and doing math. When he is told by his parents or teachers to read, he tries to read by himself, but he prefers listening to others read to him.
Okay, cool. And then so let's go back to that prompt. And then child's engagement in literary activities at home, in the community, and at school. So you feel like you got this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, you know.
Did I need a, because that's the so-called second box in the little rubric. This one,
Show me what you mean in the rubric.
it is the,
Okay.
this little box, engagement.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, since I can't, of course, I'm not your teacher, I can't grade it. But we can like work and make sure that we've got all these things to the best of our ability. So, you know, you definitely mentioned school there, which is, you know, great. Is there anything that you think that is maybe missing or you could add on to it?
It was not sure, like, did I have to somehow, like, kind of include some of the apps the kids use and the little technology?
Do you know that information?
Not really, but
Okay, I mean, if you don't know it, then
because that's just about the activity.
Yeah.
So like, only that.
yeah, I mean, I think we're not going to be able to like perfectly know, like, it's part of the overall college experience is you don't perfectly know if you did exactly what the teacher wants until you get the grade. But it sounds like you covered the environment, you covered home, and you covered school.
Mhm.
Unless if there's like some information that you know that you haven't used yet, like, for example, if they told you their grades in certain classes, then you could maybe include that. But if you don't know that, then I'd say that you've done everything that this is asked for.
For the second part.
Uh-huh. The information provides a context. So what does this mean then? The information provides a context and further understanding the child's background and literacy environment. What do you think that means?
Mhm.
Information provides a context and further understanding child's background and literary environment. So the focus, is the child's background and literacy environment in this. And then the information provides a context for further understanding. So I'm also asking for my clarification because, I don't know what else your teacher has said. When in this rubric, when it says further understanding, have you already gone into like some of the child's background in other assignments or anything else?
But don't I don't think
You don't think so? Okay, cool.
this for the kids.
Gotcha. This is the first assignment with this. Okay, cool. I was just wondering that because I was like,
Because this is the only one like this one assignment from this
yeah,
test, and then I have to write about the kids' weakness and strength
gotcha.
from this test, and then make activities based on their result from here.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So knowing all that, after reading that paragraph, do you think I have a better understanding of this child's literacy and literacy environment?
It seems a little bit,
Yeah.
but not fully.
Okay. So it seems like you're feeling like you're in this 3 to 2 point region.
Ish for that because I kind of didn't really I didn't mention about their testing before.
Okay. So do you think if you talked about their testing scores, it might bump you up to that 5 or 4?
But I'm not sure what I need to include it there too, because it's kind of mentioned about it later. Where
Okay. So it sounds like we're kind of in this area where it's like you think it might not be strong enough, but you also don't know what else you could add to it.
like would I have to make another paragraph too, right? For that.
Do you think you could fill up that paragraph with anything?
Because I know the so-called paper is like 5 to 8 pages.
Gotcha.
So they did. My professor here did say it don't really have to be.
Mhm.
It's suggested as the guideline, only guideline.
So my advice to students too, myself too, because in final season it's hard to do this, is don't worry about the page limit until the end. Because sometimes you'll finish everything and you'll get to the end before this happens to me all the time, where I'll be writing a paper, I'm like, 8 pages. How am I going to get 8 pages? And I do all this stuff and I have like 12 pages and I have to figure out how to cut stuff back. So let's just the so since we have this paragraph and it sounds like you're more like, should I add on to get more length and detail?
Or like just have more stuff.
Yeah,
It seems like I need to write another paragraph for that part. Yeah.
let's worry about that at the end. If you're at 7 pages and you need another paragraph, then we know, okay, let's go back to that introduction. And that's a good area where we could get that extra length.
Okay.
But until we really have everything else done, we don't know if we'll need that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, let's go on to what the next part is.
It is the assessment.
Instrument. Student provides a detailed description of how they administered and scored the child performance on the assessment interest to gather information about the child's early literacy skills. The student also reflects and provides insight into their own understanding of the assessment of the early literacy knowledge through the assignment. Okay, cool. So this seems like it says 2 to 3 pages. This will be a good, your teacher is looking for a good detail on this, right? Cool. So how about, what can you tell me about, before we look at what you have
I don't
written?
have this part yet.
Okay, cool. So
so it's this testing. I just need to type up.
okay, cool. So tell me what you're thinking about writing for that.
But I kind of mentioned about this when I did my little reflection about how I did this.
Okay.
So, cause like when I first tried to test the kid, I thought I need to finish the whole thing within that 1 minute.
Yeah.
But like in the first 1 minute, it seems like it's only the first few lines,
Yeah.
or like not even the first row, because parents have discontinued if they can't say any of the 10 letters here.
Okay.
So I was only like that, like half of it is not even like the first, you know.
So tell me about this assessment. Tell me about this letter named fluency.
This one is just them saying what letters they see, and this is my so-called version.
Uh-huh.
Their version is different. It's bigger.
Okay.
They get a bigger one.
And this is like your grading sheet, basically.
This is my so-called grading sheet, and they have a bigger version, and I have my directions here, and I tell them to do.
Mhm.
And then they're supposed to, for this test, just naming what letters they see. And
So if I was a student, I'd just be TNFY. Would I say capital I, capital R? Or is that just kind of?
Just and the directions it don't say.
Okay,
It just
yeah,
say
then
the letters.
gotcha. It's just testing to see if you know your capital letters too.
Yeah, this
Cool.
to make them
Okay.
for this first one.
Okay. So detailed description on so how did you administer this then? Where were you guys? What did you tell the student? What happened?
Like when I kind of read the directions, but
Yeah.
not really read the directions to the kid at that time.
Okay.
After because the first time I thought we had finished all of this within that 1 minute.
Yeah.
But I had to retest the kid again to make it correct. And then the second time around, it was more correct. They went through one or two of the rows
Gotcha.
more correctly within that little 1 minute.
Okay.
Because at the first time when we really did it, we were laughing and stuff, so
Okay.
we weren't really testing.
Gotcha.
When we did I was trying to focus to test the whole thing.
You were trying to more explain it to them and get them comfortable with it.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
to get them to understand what we're doing this test and stuff when the first time around. And then
That makes
I didn't
sense.
really understand was I doing it right that first time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to redo it.
Okay. No, yeah, that makes sense. And that's everything you just told me is good stuff to put into this because it also mentions into your own understanding, talking about the first time I wasn't sure, but then I got more comfortable.
Because there are videos on the D2L to kind of explain how teachers and stuff do the testing
Okay.
of this. Yeah, and we're supposed to only do the beginning because this test has beginning, middle, and end of
Gotcha.
the school year. So we're only doing the beginning of the test.
Okay, cool.
We were confused if we have to do all three tests of the same idea.
I see, but now you understand. Not so much. Okay, cool. How do you feel about this section? Do you feel like you have a plan to go and write the assessment improvement portion?
Mm. I think so. I'll try to make sure I go through maybe each because the test itself is like 5 little tests.
Okay.
5 little tests. Maybe try to see if I can write 5 little paragraphs or
Yeah.
something like that.
Provide a description on each step for it.
Cool. Maybe have another one. Like I did it again to make sure that I did it right this time.
Okay. And then where do you think you would put this reflection portion? Would you put that at the beginning of, and there's no right answer. Would you put that at the beginning before you dive into like how you administered and scored the test, or would you put that at the end?
The reflection seems like it's toward the end,
Okay.
too,
That I think would make a lot of sense.
because I kind of did maybe like I did kind of type a little paragraph about the reflection of the test.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Would you be comfortable if we go on to this next one then?
Yeah.
Cool. So, all right, so this one is going to be worth twice as many points. So we know that this area we're going to focus a lot more on. A detailed analysis of the child's performance on the assessment is articulated and shown through raw scores, which are also submitted. The analysis of the raw scores shows evidence of an understanding of the assignment. Okay, so things I just saw reading through this. Raw scores are going to be super important in this, and showing how the child performed based on those raw scores.
Yeah.
All right, tell me about where you are with that.
So far with that part, I was a little bit confused.
Okay.
Like, well, the way these little testing things, they're a bit confusing.
Okay.
When I was looking at it, I was a bit confused because these letters here, it's kind of confusing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is to help me how many words there is.
Okay. Gotcha.
They're kind of confusing in some ways with the ones on the side here.
So you're unsure how to score it itself?
Yeah, in some ways.
Okay.
But I know I do have so far some videos on B12 to like kind of clarify
Okay.
it. But yeah, for some of these, they don't really say here about the meanings of these little acronyms.
Yeah. Okay. Would it be a good use of our, and like, do you want to go look at those videos now? Or are you, because like, I think that would be a good use of our time since this is such a big portion of it. But if you also, alternatively, if you're confident that you can figure that out on your own and want to talk about other stuff while you're here, we can do that.
I'm not sure how long this video is, but
Okay.
explain the raw score, how to make it.
Okay.
Calculate it. Maybe it'd be long, like more than 2 minutes each.
We could watch. That's not too bad. You know, we still have 40 minutes. Or if you want to keep going, then we can keep going. It's up to you.
Keep going and then come back to that.
Cool. Let's do that. All right. So child's areas of strength and weakness. The write-up articulates very clearly and in detail the child's areas of strength and weakness and literacy skills and provides evidence that aligns with the analysis of the child's score. So also another big one, 20 to 18 points. Tell me about where you are with this part.
That part is kind of connected to that.
Yeah.
So I am kind of in between, but I know, I don't know for that.
That makes sense because it seems like it's kind of hard to think about that section without knowing.
Even though I also did this,
Yeah.
the testing with the kids.
Yeah.
To make sure you clarify with the raw scores and that.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think let's come back to that one too. Okay, based on the child's strength and weakness and literacy skills, a plan for remediation is provided to strengthen areas of weakness. There is a strong alignment between the plan for remediation and the analysis of the child's performance. Tell me about this
one. I think these two parts are connected. It's kind of like about the activity that we need to based on.
Yeah.
Right. I need to make the activity based on their strength or their weakness.
Yeah.
For that part.
Do you have any plan for that? Do you like have a remediacy plan?
What is that?
That's kind of like, interventions. It's kind of like a plan, basically.
Because some of these, when I was doing the thing, I was not sure with certain sounds. I'm not good with sounds.
Okay.
So I think maybe this little part of the test, I would myself was struggling to because English is my second language, so but the sounds itself is kind of hard.
It's different. Yeah, for sure. So how does So it seems like it's kind of hard
Because
to,
for some parts of these tests, I'm not this with the sound
uh you weren't sure how to score it, or what were you not sure about?
because I'm not let the sounds of the these
The words itself. So what is that when you were administrating it? You were,
yeah as a whole when I was doing these little
yeah.
sections with those little sounds, I was a little confused with the sound.
So I don't know what these tests are. Could you tell me like how that would affect the, could you like show me how you did this one? Because I don't know.
I said like I'm gonna say the word and then you say it. But I think this one didn't have the paper for the kid to see. This one the kid didn't see anything.
Gotcha.
So they're just saying it. It's like a speaking one.
So pretend I'm the student. What would you do?
I was supposed to say the word, and then
Okay.
they will try to give me the sound of the word they hear.
Okay. So would they, so for example, if it was ball, would I spell it? Would I say Ball or would I say Ball?
Give me the sound.
Okay, so like
Give
Ball,
me the tell me all the sounds you would hear in the word.
you would say, so this, I guess I'm a little confused on.
And if you have say mop, the kids are supposed to say those sounds.
And what are the like OP?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So you're not spelling it.
No, not spelling, sounds.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
And then they also said if they hesitate for 3 seconds,
Give them that to
it'll be wrong, and then
Okay, cool. Um, so for this one, do you want to? It sounds like we really need to get a better understanding of how to score and these tests in general, to kind of like do these
yeah.
sections, right? Okay. Is there anything else before we kind of do that that you want to go over?
Because myself, I struggle with these little
Yeah.
one C section, C second, and the third test.
Okay.
The third one is still called
Gotcha.
nonsense words, but they're also saying the sound, so called trying to sound out the words.
So you kind of just are like making up words and then they sound them out.
Yeah, these are nonsense words.
Okay.
So like they're trying to sound out each letter or space here in the words.
Okay.
Yeah. The first, the second and the is the one, and this one is just saying the words.
Okay.
This is just saying the words, kind of this alphabet one.
So they would have a paper that they read the
That
words.
one does have the paper.
Gotcha.
That one has a paper. That has a paper. This is just silly sound. Yeah, they have a paper.
Okay. So it'd
They
be like
see the
no, they, is, we, it, etc.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, for that nonsense one, they do get this paper too.
Okay.
They get to see it. And then they have the story and that's the last test.
Okay. Gotcha.
So yeah. This is kind of like the first and the fifth test
Okay.
with the just saying the words.
Okay. Gotcha.
So like those other ones with speaking of the sound, I was myself was struggling
Yeah. That,
to make, you know.
that's definitely not like something that they
Yeah,
like thought about really.
if the one doing the test is also not sure is that the correct sound.
Gotcha. So,
Would that I include that in there or?
I think that's something worthwhile to include. I don't think you have to feel bad about that. As you said, English is your second language, and that's not fair to expect. You're obviously fluent, and it's not fair to expect the test taker to know every word in the English language.
The kid themselves is a second language
Yeah.
too.
Okay. Okay.
But I was surprised that they were able to sound out.
Gotcha. I think, yeah, maybe emphasizing that like English is your second language and the student's second language, because that does affect like, it's like, for example, a student, like if he isn't reading well with English as his second language, but reads his first language perfectly fine, that's way different than someone who English is their first language and they're not reading it well. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be important to include. Okay. What else do you want to talk about, work on while we're here?
Okay, so of course I have to make those activities based on these.
So you're kind of making your own versions of these?
Um, this is what I. This is another assignment continuation of this. So
Gotcha.
it's a continuation. Just a better. There's a continuation of that.
Okay.
There's like this. These five are what I have to create an activity on.
Okay.
Those the five.
Okay.
Reading.
And have you thought of an activity you want to create?
I think for that I would need to look into what I want based on this
What
kind of.
what do you have to look into?
I think so-called look what um I have to find one of these five to make a little activity based on.
Gotcha. So you're gonna have to have like a really solid understanding of one of those to obviously make an activity out of it, right?
So come if I think if I choose one of them and then I make five activities.
Gotcha.
Three activities based on these.
Okay. Is there one of those that you're leaning towards?
Um maybe vocabulary.
Okay. Okay.
Phonics is phonics is kind of still with the letters sounds, right? Kind of.
Cool. So have you first, why are you thinking vocabulary?
Or phonics. Because
Okay.
the kid from what I saw knows each letter already and the
Gotcha.
words. So yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say his area of weakness was?
Mm, kind of maybe this fluency I kind of see is like 50-50.
Okay.
So they know it, but at the same time they hear it differently.
Okay.
They
Okay.
can't really hear what in the word.
So if it was, um, so like for example, if it was him and what do you mean he doesn't know the words? I guess.
This was the one without the paper, right?
Yeah.
When I did this part, I kind of like asked the kid to write out what they did,
Okay. Okay.
and then also try to sound it out when he's writing the little word out. So,
I see.
and then for some of them, they thought it was the other word instead of the correct word. Like you see, some of these is similar to the other word, so they got the other word.
Could you give me an example of like a time that he made a mistake and what happened?
Um, for the first word, that was the number 4.
Okay.
And then for the word who.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
They
I
got
see
the
what you're saying.
sound.
Yeah.
They wrote the sound of who, but wrote the word who wrong.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes
They
sense.
gave me the sound right, but the word they got it wrong.
Gotcha.
The way they know they don't know how to spell the word.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I feel like you're right. That would be probably fluency or vocabulary. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a good area that we could definitely focus on. Have you thought about like, let's say, we pick fluency. Have you thought about like what you would potentially do for that activity?
I think I need to kind of for what kind of activities were meant
Okay.
more to like help with the fluency
Yeah.
because I need to make 3 of them.
Okay. And so you're planning on kind of like finding example assessments and basing yours off of those.
Yeah, like do some revision to
Yeah.
get that idea of that little assessment and then do the other stuff.
I think that's really smart, especially because like, yeah, a lot of students when it's this more like creative stuff, they try to like do their own thing completely, but it's like, no, there's so much out there to use. So I think that's smart using other assessments to kind of base yours off of. Cool. Cool. Yeah, so you have your, what is, I guess I'm a little confused as to, because you have the paper and the,
This is so-called continuation of that.
so when is the paper due?
I meant like both of them. It was so-called during the week of like the few weeks before Thanksgiving is.
Okay.
But I'm late on these, so I'm trying to catch up on something.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, cool. So what's the next step for you?
Um,
Well, we do know we have to figure out how to get the raw scores, right? So you're gonna watch those videos and kind of like take the time to score it.
to get a better understanding to which score.
Cool. And is the student you tested, was that like a sibling or any like buddy that you know?
It was a sibling.
Okay. The one reason I asked was I was curious if when you're scoring it, if there's anything that like you're like, oh, I missed this. It's good it's your sibling because then you could go back and
Because
ask.
like, when I was testing, like during the
Yeah.
2 times, I was kind of like spacing out
Gotcha.
too.
Gotcha.
So I was like not fully there, kind of in some ways when I was doing the testing.
Okay.
And, because we were kind of laughing a little bit.
Yeah,
during the
yeah,
testing.
that's fine. So it sounds like, you know, you're a little bit worried about the like how you administered the test.
In some ways, yes.
Okay. So
Because so-called, I wasn't my little brother. He's not really first grader, but his reading skills are like 2nd grade, 3rd grade level.
oh, awesome.
And then my professor said I can test my brother. I have to do it with a classmate.
Okay.
So what I did was I so-called see if I could like get the little results from my little classmate of what she tests of a first grader
Okay.
to compare it. So like when I did the second testing, compared it in some ways to make sure it's a little bit correct to make it more like a first grader kind of testing.
Gotcha. So your little brother is a first grader?
He's a 7th grader, but with a reading skill
Gotcha.
2nd, 3rd grade.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I would say if you're worried about like, you know, if you did this right, after you watch those videos, I think will really help clarify if you did it right. And then if you did it, if you feel like you need to redo it, it's good that he's your sibling because then you can redo it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't like you don't have to say that you redid it, you know. Yeah. But yeah, it sounds like what would be most important is kind of getting a solid understanding of these and how to administrate them, how to score them, and making sure that all your boxes are checked in there because that's really going to be the 2 biggest sections is based on the scoring of this.
And I have to submit the raw score.
Yeah.
The paper too.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I think that would be helpful to like also, you know, these tests luckily are really common. So another thing you could do is like find if you're still confused after that, you could find like YouTube videos or just like a text write up on it. But that's something where it's like not all your sources have to be from the teacher from like your textbook. I'd say YouTube is a great space because
some of the videos, the little online textbook is from YouTube.
Okay, good.
So
Yeah,
it's from YouTube.
cool. Yeah, those like 2, 3, you know, less than 10-minute videos are super helpful. Okay, cool. What else can I help you with?
I think kind of like with those activities that I would need to create.
Uh-huh.
Because I was need a so-called right objective for each, like one or two,
Okay.
and then these procedure part.
Uh-huh. Do you know what these, anticipatory set, modeling, checking for understanding, guided closure is?
I think I am kind of confused with like the first five, maybe.
Yeah, let's check them out. I also don't know, so I'm gonna find this out together.
The first
Um,
five, maybe. I think like the beginning one is the kind of the intro, like the how you're gonna start it and stuff.
okay. Okay, so for assessment, so I'm just using Chat GBT. And then I'm gonna say, what is anticipatory set modeling? Oh, so the anticipatory set is a teaching strategy used to grab the student's attention, active prior knowledge, and prepare them for a lesson's objectives. It secures as the hook to engage learners. So yeah, basically, how are you going to engage the learner? Modeling, what do you think? Based on that, could you guess what modeling is?
Um, I feel like that you're starting it and then you try to show them what it is. I think that is.
Yeah, that would make sense to me. And then check for understanding, guided practice. So now that we kind of know anticipatory set, does that kind of, for me, it helped make sense for the rest of them. Does that help make sense for you? Or were any of them sticking out there? You're like, let's learn more about that.
Maybe the guided one.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
not
check
sure
that
it's like
guided.
that more like because there's the independent and guided.
Uh-huh.
One might be like a group work or something.
That's what I would guess. That's what I would guess.
More
Let's double
class
check.
work and then the independent.
So now I'm just searching what is guided practice versus independent practice. Let's see what comes up. Guided practice and independent practice are both essential parts of the learning process, but they serve different purposes. Students practice a new skill with the teacher's guidance, feedback, and support. Okay. So that'd probably be like, it sounds like, you would, if you're the teacher, you'd be in the classroom, you'd have them write a paragraph and go and check it. Students' role, practice the skill while receiving help. Okay, after the teacher, and then independent practice. Students practice the new skill on their own without teacher guidance. Okay, does that kind of make sense?
Yeah,
Cool.
because for these I have to write three pieces.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I would say just if 3 pages is a lot, just break it up into smaller pieces. Don't focus on, okay, I have to do 3 pages on procedure. Focus on like, all right, I'm going to do a paragraph on anticipatory set, paragraph on modeling, paragraph on checking for understanding. And then like, let's say I get stuck at guided practice. I'm like, I don't know. Then I'm just going to skip that, go to independent practice, just like we did when we came across something that we knew we have to go back for. It's okay to just skip and do other things and then go back to it. But yeah, like for the page limits, if that's a stressor for you, which it is for all students, myself included, try to just break it up into little pieces. Make sure you've got everything and only worry about try to only worry about the page limit at the end. Because the only time that the page limit matters, if it's a 3 page assignment, I can write 3 pages on I like Lord of the Rings. I could write 3 pages on Lord of the Rings, but that wouldn't meet any of your assignments requirements and I'd get a 0. But if you make sure you have everything, I would rather have I would rather turn in a paper that was 2 pages but had everything. And then if you have everything and you have 2 pages, you can do what we did before where it's like, okay, this is an area that I might be able to add more. This is an area that I already have everything down, so I'll add more to other areas. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It looks like a challenging assignment though, so I'm not saying it's going to be easy. You know, seems seems challenging. Where where do you study best? Like at home, at school? Oh, there's an example.
Like
Good.
a template.
Yeah, okay, nice. That's good.
Yeah. With the little template of one page per activity.
Yeah, yeah. But those are nice because then it's like you can use that to guide you. You know, like even like age, grade level, it's like, you know, you could answer that initially as 12 first. I don't remember what age first graders are, but like first graders. But then later on, you could expand that to be like, this assessment is designed for first through third graders.
So far, it kind of seems like I need to find more activities because there's 30.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like I have to find more like 9 activities or something
Why would you have to find nine?
or something.
Just for sources?
But because local have like the small these little guided and the
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like
it seems like I have to find 9 different activities or something. Or
maybe is it more looking for you to design a lesson rather than an act? Maybe is the lesson a better?
activity.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's an activity, but I have to write objective.
Yeah. Well, so I guess with education, so like, you know, it could be the objective could be something like, um, today we're going to learn how to divide by hand. You know, like that could be the objective. And that you could do multiple ways. You know, I could do the lesson. So focus area would be division. Objective, learn how to divide by hand. Age grade level, let's say third grade. Time, 50 minutes. Preparation, I would need to come up with some math problems to have. Like I wouldn't just want to have be coming up with them on the fly. I might, you know, if my activities require anything, I'd bring those. Do you mind if I scroll down? Procedure. Okay, so this is, it seems like the procedure is going to be where the bulk of it is. So anticipatory set. Maybe for teaching division, I would think of something like I'd bring in a bag of Takis and say there's 100 Takis in here. How and there's 20 students. How many Takis do you each get? And then like have them do, you know, and then they're like engaged. Modeling, showing, you know, the lecture, showing them how to do it, checking for understanding, be like, who would like to do a practice problem for me? And then, you know, or like, what's the next step? You know, asking questions. Guided practice. Maybe I have a paper of different division problems. Everybody in groups of 4 has to do them. And then I could like go around and check how they're doing. Independent practice. Here's your homework. Get started on it. Good luck. Closure. You know, let's review what we talked about today. And then assessment, I could do a math test. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, and then so that
Yeah, that one's tricky. That one's tricky. You know, like maybe for, you know, in this example division, it's like maybe there's a cool math app. I don't know much about the technology. Hopefully you guys have gone over that. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't learn with apps, so I don't know the apps very well. Does that kind of give you an idea of what direction you're supposed to go in?
yeah,
Okay.
because so-called everything for this class is due tonight.
Okay.
But this one seems like I won't be able to finish. I need to finish the first and then do that one.
Yeah.
Something else. So I can do this one.
Okay.
I'm like able in some ways, maybe halfway, and then
Well, I think that honesty is always appreciated by professors, and it's a good thing.
these are the final 2 assignments left for this class. And then for my other one, it's the lesson plan. I need to
Okay.
do even more.
Yeah, that's a lot. Are you able to reach out to your professors?
Last week, last week, Monday and Tuesday was so called the last class to do presentations. And then that Wednesday or Thursday, I said when was the last day to turn in assignments, like
Yeah.
doing homework. One said it was the day before, but it was that for that one. That was the Monday one. It was the lesson plan I did type.
Gotcha.
I still could start it only like the first section, like the many sections left to type for that one.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Yeah, because the so-called next semester I might be doing clinical,
okay.
so I'm not sure if I would need to take these classes too.
Well, I think, it wouldn't hurt to email your professors and kind of explain the situation. And yet, like, hopefully they'll be willing to like give an extension or do something. Um, but yeah, you're right. Like this does seem like a lot. And so like really,
Pretty late, and I'm trying to finish it.
yeah. But really the best you can do is your best. So I wish I had a magic wand to fix it, but I think communicating with your prof the reason I suggest that is that I've been in situations where I knew I couldn't finish on time, and my professors were generous enough to give me an extension. One time they did, one time they didn't, and I had to turn in something that wasn't great. But I think like figuring that out might be helpful.
Because like for the one of the class right now, without that other lesson plan, I'm at
Yeah.
a C.
Okay,
I have to pass like a C or better.
gotcha.
So that one,
Yeah. Well, even though assignments are, it feels like you don't have any time. Grades aren't posted until they're posted. You know. Yeah. So maybe you reach out to your professors and they say there's nothing we can do. And you're in the exact same situation you are here. No better, no worse. That would suck. I don't disagree, but you wouldn't be worse off. Hopefully they'd give, I don't know what the solutions would be, but hopefully they could give you some solutions. Maybe it's an extension, maybe it's, extra credit you could do.
Mhm.
And then if that's the case, then
I
great.
know for one of them, they said if we did the so-called evaluation,
Yeah.
we get 5 points extra credit.
Okay.
But I don't really think it'll boost me up that much.
Gotcha.
Except for like 60 some, 67.5 some.
Okay.
For that class. So I don't think it's going to boost me up that much.
Gotcha. Well, what I'm about to say, probably is scary. But worst case scenario, nothing works. And you have to retake your classes. That's okay. It's a semester in the long scheme. You'll be, and that's what people, that's oftentimes the scariest thing is like, oh my gosh, I failed. No, you learned what to do different in this class next time. Like, and so in the grand scheme of things, nobody looks at your GPA. Nobody cares about any of that. They want to see that you have that degree and that you're able to teach in those classrooms. If that's a semester later, that's totally fine. Next semester, if that happens, you'll be better prepared because you'll know what went wrong. You'll know what you have to do different. And so, it's really just trying your best this semester, no matter what, will get you closer to graduating. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's also scary to reach out to professors because it's hard to admit when we haven't done, what I've had to do this and it sucks being like, yeah, one of my papers, it was a 12-page paper and I forgot about it until 2 days before one of my classmates. And I was like, but I think it might be worthwhile to do.
To reach out to them again.
Yeah. And just explain honestly
Because
what you've done.
one of them was asking when am I gonna turn in that one.
Okay.
Because I need to turn it in.
Yeah.
And it's not the little D2I little folder for it already closed.
Okay.
Is I have to upload it to a website on the computer.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, that would definitely be because only they can reopen it. And yeah, I think what was I gonna say? Oh my gosh, I just left my. Oh, I think also mentioning that you have met with a writing tutor, showing the progress you've made and that you're trying is super helpful. Like it's
But
one
I've
thing.
been so-called been meeting with tutors,
Yeah,
and then the few times I was still working on one of the missing
yeah.
assignments since September, so I just finished it over the weekend. So
Okay.
start
So you're
finishing
trying, you're doing like you're trying. It's not like, the teachers I've known, the students they don't like are the ones who don't turn in anything because they don't care. And I can tell you care. So, and if you've been meeting with tutors, meeting with them, then hopefully you have that record that they'll be able to give you some grace.
because for that other assignment, that lesson plan thingy,
Yeah.
I so-called that week before I got the COVID and flu shot
Okay.
at the doctor. So that week after, that day after, and to the week after, I was kind of getting
Yeah.
sick with fevers and stuff. So
Okay.
I try to see if I can get an extra extension.
Yeah.
It was supposed to do that Wednesday, but she moved it to Friday. And
Okay.
then I asked, can I also get another extension? She said, no, it's
Gotcha.
already got extended.
Okay.
So that assignment.
Gotcha. Yeah, maybe it'd be worthwhile too to talk to your advisor and like how to create a course load that's like more successful for you and kind of figuring that
Because my
out.
FAFSA is also kind of
It's
going to be
tricky.
affected too.
No,
My
yeah,
FAFSA.
yeah. It's scary. That would be something I would talk to your advisor with or financial aid too. But you don't have to do it on your own. Like there's NEIU has a whole bunch of people who are able to help and they all want to see you succeed.
I am attending the tutor sessions for these assignments.
Yeah. It's frustrating when, you've done your best and it's still hard, it's still not working, but I think you'll get there. It's just not easy. Sorry, I wish there was more I could do.
Mm-hmm. These are the last three major little assignments left for me to finish.
Okay.
And I don't think I'll be able to finish this one tonight.
Well, focus on what you can do. Don't focus on things that are outside your control. If, you don't get an extension, nothing works, turn in what you have. Something is better than nothing. And yeah, just focus on what you can do with it.
Hmm. And then for that other one, I just really have a little bit, like
Okay, good.
halfway.
Like you're over halfway or you're not? Like,
Just so cool kind of started it,
okay,
but only the first section.
gotcha.
And there's like many sections, like 15 sections, and I only did the first.
Okay. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I have to, our time is up, but hopefully that helped give some direction on which way to go.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's. So I'm going to say we do these visit notes, and these do go to your professor, so they will know that we met. So that's good. Person, we discussed the what is this assignment?
The formal assessment.
Form assessment. So, anything else you want me to add?
And kind of looked at the just the portfolio part of it too.
Okay. Awesome. Right. Well, I wish you the best. I hope it turns out, and don't forget this.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and hopefully those videos will help finish them.
56. McDonald.